We imagine Dartmoor as maybe a rather bleak wilderness, but that hasn't always been the case. During the medieval period, it was seen as an important resource and really an industrial landscape. There was numbers of people who would use Dartmoor to extract tin. It was one of the biggest sources of tin in the country. Many tin miners would go up onto Dartmoor, pan for tin in the streams, or try and extract this valuable material from the landscape. Tin miners were probably fairly mobile. They wouldn't be living up on Dartmoor. They'd go up for matters of weeks and months to try and find the tin and then return home. But there were plenty of people who were living on Dartmoor. We know of medieval communities and even isolated farmsteads that would make a living growing crops and raising herds of animals on Dartmoor. Dartmoor was also an important hunting resource, and there were whole areas of Dartmoor that were exclusively laid out for hunting. But Dartmoor was in many ways a marginal landscape for this sort of activity. Too much farming pushed the poor soils to exhaustion. And increasingly people were finding that they just couldn't make a living from the poor Dartmoor soils. There just wasn't enough to live on and there wasn't enough to sell. And Dartmoor is really interesting that there are the traces of these deserted communities. Places like Hound Tor, hut holes or dinner clarks, where people just had to abandon their houses. They just couldn't make a living anymore and probably moved to nearby towns